everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and happy Halloween, everybody! Note, just a little heads up, guys. This video was actually recorded last night. I just decided to record it on the night of the 30th because I thought I would just probably take a break from YouTube on Halloween. Or take a break from movie reviews on Halloween nights. But yeah. But today's episode is going to be the season finale of Season 2. So yeah, this is the very final episode of Season 2 that will wrap up the series of Halloween horror movie reviews until next year, Halloween 2022. But yeah, today's episode is going to be for... The season finale is going to be for us yet another sequel to a movie I reviewed this season about 2 weeks ago. This is a sequel to a movie that came out in 1991. It's was one of the more family-friendly horror films I reviewed in this season. Yes. This season finale episode is going to be for the sequel to the Addams Family, Addams Family Values from 1993. And note, guys, whenever I have the final episode of any Halloween horror movie review seasons, I'm going to be wearing my Halloween costume to wrap it up. So yeah, guys. That's pretty much the whole concept of the whole season finale of any Halloween horror movie review season each year. Anyway, so after the box office success of the first Addams Family movie, a sequel is obviously already planned. It was released in 1993 and gained even better reviews from critics than the first film. However, there is a bad side. On the box office, it did not do very well. Sadly, it only made up to only 48 million worldwide on a 40 million budget. And was not a big hit. Which was a darn shame because we never saw a third film as a result of that. Oh man, what a drag. Would have loved to see a third film in this version instead of a shitty 2019 animated reboot. But anyway, now that being said, what is this movie about? Well, when an adorable baby boy is added to the Addams Family household, Wednesday and Pugsley do not hate him, they just aren't necessarily excited about his existence. Okay, yeah, they do. Actually, no, they do hate him. So they plot to get rid of him one way or another. Meanwhile, their parents hire a nanny for him and she charms Fester, but has evil intentions for him. The Addamses must stop her. But how? Yeah. That's pretty much the plot of Addams Family Values. So, as a general rule, sequels are rarely better than the original with some rare exceptions like Empire Strikes Back, Aliens, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, The Dark Knight, Avengers Infinity War, among a few others. And I think this is actually among one of the few rare sequels that's better than the original film. Little time is wasted introducing the characters, and soon the family is one larger thanks to the birth of baby Pubert, who's the baby's name in this movie. I think this film was way better than the first one, largely because Christina Ricci had a significantly larger role as Wednesday Addams, who was just creeping just about every scene she's in, especially when she tried to smile, especially since the character never smiles like at all. The story was even more interesting too, having two main stories, like Fester's problem with Debbie and the children's time at the summer camp that they get shipped off to, meant neither outstayed its welcome. Once again, Raul Julia, rest in peace to him by the way, Angelica Houston and Christopher Lloyd did a fine job as Gomez, Mordecai, and Fester, and Joan Cusack, who played Debbie, managed to switch from delightful to demented in an enjoyable way. Who's aka the new villain in this movie. The thing I really admire about this film is how well also balances the ratio of story to humor and how the structures of the film is built to maximum effectiveness. A great part of the fun of the Addams Family concept is the fact that most of the humor comes from the contrast between their inherent insanity and typical middle and upper class values. It's an idea built around subversion, and I think this film handles that very well by wisely dividing the story into three sort of episodic adventures that place members of the clan in different situations. Those, of course, being an archetypal rivalry between siblings, a subsequent subplot involving Wednesday and Pugsley being sent to summer camp, and the overarching storyline about the deadly romance that forms between Debbie and Fester and how it affects the family as a whole. It creates opportunities to organically unleash the Addamses onto the world for comedic effect. I found it functioned quite a bit better than the loose narrative of the original movie. Don't get me wrong, I still love the original movie. I think this one's just slightly better. And once again, like that, the wild and wonderful ensemble cast shines through as the highlight of the film. And I like the fact that the movie just focused on two members of the family who weren't featured quite as heavily in the previous film. The standouts are here being the delightfully deadpan reaching and amusingly mindless workman as Wednesday and Pugsley, whose plotlines make up a good bulk of the film. There's a definitive theme of youth in the movie, so it makes sense for the children to take the center stage, and both do very well with the material. Lloyd is as fun as ever as the hapless Fester, and it's fun seeing him try to cope with his general cluelessness when it comes to women and romance. Julia and Houston are as deliciously hammy as ever as the psychotic lovers that are Gomez and Morica, and I also really loved Cusack and her scene-stealing performance once again as the devious diva that is Debbie. And bonus points go to Carol Kane, who takes over the role of Grandmama with gusto, and of course the young David Krumholtz as a neurotic Joel, a fellow camper who develops feelings for Wednesday. By the way, guys, this was pretty much David Krumholtz's breakthrough performance, as David Krumholtz would go on to play Bernard in The Santa Claus and its sequel, The Santa Claus 2, and also played, I think, either Eisenberg or Goldstein, but one of those two in the Harold and Kumar series, and so forth, among a few other things. And also, a setup is the wonderful production assembled by Sonnenfeld and the twisted and hilarious script by playwright Paul Rudnick. The film is an aesthetic powerhouse with sharp, keen visuals and a brutally manic pace that lends itself exceptionally well to the material. Sonnenfeld injects such a sheer voracious sense of spunk and fun into the visual storytelling, but that it's just infectious. You can't help but feel completely satisfied by the time the credits roll. You feel like everyone put their hearts into the film. And the script is just fantastic. Almost every other line is punctuated by a clever gag. The pitch black humor is out full force. And there's some really smart satire injected beneath the surface. You really couldn't ask for more out of an Addams story. However, there are some flaws I do have with this movie. Like with the first one, the flaws I do have with this movie, though, is the fact that this movie makes one critical error. And I can't help but notice that this movie does kind of rehash the first one a bit with the Fester story. Since never mind, but I think you know what I mean. Other than that, I think this is a very terrific sequel that's way better than the first Addams Family film. And one of the few that what really sucks though is that this movie bombed at the box office, so we sadly never got to see a third film, with the exception of the TV movie I never saw called Addams Family Reunion. I never saw the movie, guys. Don't ask me that. Ask if I've seen it or not. Instead, years after this, around decades after this, we got an ugly-ass computer animated reboot in 2019 that sucked ass. And that movie even got a sequel that was even shittier, from what I've heard. Because I refuse to go, once again, I refuse to go watch the Addams Family 2, which is the sequel to the 2019 animated film, because I hated the 2019 animated film so much. I only saw the 2019 animated film once in the theaters, and then I never saw it again because I hated it so damn bad. Yeah. Nor did I even buy the 2019 animated film for that exact reason. In fact, I'm even surprised it even made money at the box office for some reason. But despite that, now, if you love the first film, absolutely go give this movie a watch. It's a perfect way to continue the story from the first film. It's one of those sequels that I think is even better than the first one. Yeah, and here's how I am going to rank it. I am going to give Addams Family Values a 9 out of 10. Okay, and that pretty much wraps up my review for Addams Family Values. And speaking of that sad note, guys, sadly, this also wraps up Season 2 of the Halloween Horror Movie Reviews. Yep, there we go. That's now completed Season 2. What a pretty good season this was. I gotta say, what a very good run this was. Not bad for especially having to be so busy in October reviewing so many blockbusters that got delayed last year to this year and having to manage that at the same time. This actually went by pretty easy, I gotta say. But yeah, that being said, yeah, but yeah, so in a way, happy Halloween, everybody. Or I hope you all had a good Halloween if Halloween's already over in your area. And for me, in my area, Halloween is just beginning, so I still want to wish you all a happy Halloween anyways. And until then, that'll be it for Season 2. Thank you all for watching. And if you like this and want to see more, then don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120. And I will see you gals on Halloween next year for Season 3.